So we're here today to talk about IDS checklists and what they are and why you need them. So on this slide, this first slide, we have a picture of a finished IDS checklist that I completed with one of my students in an appointment. Basically, the purpose is so that the student and the advisor understand the requirements of an IDS major and that they ensure that the student is aware and fully understand the graduation requirements of the major. And so it's a tool to help you advise in the appointment. Content that's on the checklist. The first thing is that there's a link to the catalog because you will use the catalogs in the appointment. There are also links to the area's A3 core requirements, university degree requirements, the course substitution request forms, and the course projected schedules. And then it breaks down areas F, G, and H for the student so they know the requirements and the guidelines. And the biggest thing about this is to be sure that you notate any catalog changes on the checklist if you review them with students, because this way we know that they know if something has changed.
So the most important thing to have up during your advising appointment are these three things. The first is degree works, because these show all the degree requirements and what the student needs to take in order for them to graduate. The second thing is the catalog. This has all the degree requirements as well, and anything that's not listed in degree works will be listed in the catalog. The third thing that you want to have up is the course substitution approval form or the course substitution request form. If something is not listed in the catalog requirements and a student has a course that they think could go into their area F or area G or area H, they can use this form to see if they can get it approved by the faculty coordinator.
So, how to explain the requirements to the students and how they utilize faculty advisors. This is something that you will talk about when you are talking about when you are reviewing the checklist. So you need to review each bullet point that's on the checklist and ensure that the students are aware of university degree requirements, specifically meaning residency requirements and things like that. Explain to students that some courses have hard prerequisites and that it's important that students utilize their area F and their elective space strategically if they wish to take certain courses. For instance, students that are in game design and development sometimes want to take higher level art and design courses as well as computer science. And so we need to make sure that they are aware they need to take those prereqs in their area F or their elective space, or they're going to be trying to get overrides into these classes, which I'll talk more about later. Talk about substitution and how they work, as well as overrides. So substitutions, as you're going to explain, are when students want to take a course in an area that is not listed in the catalog. So if a student wants to take a course in area G, but it is not already listed in the catalog, they have to get permission from their faculty advisor to take that course in that area. And they have to fill out that form that we previously showed in order to do that. You can fill them out with them. If you actually look on the screen, there's a space for your name if you fill it out for them. But it's best to get them to learn how to fill it out on their own so they're able to take some autonomy with their major. Overrides. So in order to get an override into a course, a student must visit the department and ask for permission to take the course. Some courses are easier to get overrides for than others. Specifically, CMIS courses tend to be a little bit easier to get overrides into because Dr. Cheshire advises 2 IDS majors, so he tends to give them plenty of overrides for those courses. STEM courses tend to be a little bit harder, as if you're trying to take a computer science course or a higher level biology, they need you to have that base knowledge to take those courses. So I always advise the students, if they don't have the prereqs, to try to make sure that they get into the prereqs sooner rather than later. Ensure that the students know they have a faculty advisor and they should remain in contact with and try to meet if at all possible. A lot of students that are in IDS who aren't really sure of what the major is aren't aware of this, and this is a tool that they really need to utilize, and it's a valuable tool because the faculty advisor helps them to understand what they're doing with their major and what they're going to do career-wise, and helps tailor their classes based on the student's interests. Students can obtain overrides from faculty advisors only within the faculty advisor's home department. So a student cannot try to go to the CMIS department to get a override into a CSC course. They would have to go to the computer science department. But if they want to take a CMIS course and they don't have the prereqs for it, they can ask for Dr. Cheshire to give them an override. And like I said before, they help them make concrete choices regarding class selection, and they help them understand what type of courses are able to be substituted in areas F, G, and H. So it's important that they meet with them.
And finally, where does the checklist go at the end of the session? So after the student reviews the checklist and he signs and dates it, he receives a copy of the checklist, and then you scan and upload a copy to SSC. And if the student is a walk-in, ensure that the original copy of the checklist gets to the assigned advisor to keep on file. The advisor that runs the session should keep a copy for themselves as well, just for their records. After uploading your checklist into SSC, you will then go to the banner screen SAGASAD, or SGASADD. Enter the student's Panther ID number and the current term that you're in. Select Next block. Under Student Cohort, from term, if the term is the same as the term that you entered in the top right-hand corner, then you scroll down under Cohort Code to an empty tab, type in BISC, hit the Enter key, and then you can save. However, if the student cohort from term is different from the term that you entered in the top right-hand corner, you click the Maintenance button, select Copy Cohort. The term will then change to the term that you entered in the top right-hand corner. You scroll down under Cohort Code to an empty block and then enter BISC. Hit the Enter key and then you can save and exit banner.
Okay, Kelly, it looks like you want to change your major from sociology to global studies. Is that correct?
Yeah, I think so. It just depends on the requirements.
Okay, so have you done a what if?
No, what is that?
Okay, so what if is a way that you can go into your academic evaluation and see how your current courses will be applied to another major. So we're going to do that real quick.
Okay.
Just to give you an idea. Let's go ahead and change that over. And global studies will actually be your concentration under interdisciplinary studies.
Okay.
Okay, so while we're pulling this up, we also have a checklist that we use with our interdisciplinary programs, and global studies has its own list. Go ahead and upload that for you. Got that right here. And we're just going to go step by step and just kind of work our way down your degree work. So I'll go ahead and print you out a copy of that. Okay, here it is. And you're going to have a copy of that, and I'll keep a copy of that. We'll just initial as we go along.
Okay.
Awesome. I'm also going to pull up our catalog. The catalog is great. It's a great resource because we do updates to your academic evaluation every year, but this is kind of like your playbook. So any questions about what courses can I take, this is going to list all your possibilities for sections F, G, and H. And your catalog here also gives you contact information to the department. It tells you a little bit more about the program. So we're going to have that up side by side. I'm just going to expand this again. Okay, so the basic things with any degree program: in order to graduate from Georgia State, you need a minimum of 120 credits. But all of these things have to line up. So along with that, you need at least 39 credits at the 3,000 level or higher. You'll get a lot of that in your major areas G and H. A minimum GPA of a 2.0. You've got a 3.0, so you're good with that right now. You also have some non-course requirements that are going to be satisfied through legislation, and we'll cover that in your core in a moment. Your core requirements, your areas F, G, H, and any arts and sciences electives. And electives are anything that you need to get you to that minimum 120 once all your other requirements have been satisfied. Okay, so going into the core here, this is your first year. It looks like you took some courses with AP credit, so great, you got that. Area A is your math and your English requirements. We like for you to have those things completed within your first year or first 30 hours of your degree. After that, we have some institutional foundations for 4 hours. We've got your Area C Humanities, where you have to get 6 credits, which are 2 classes in any discipline of your choice from these. And then your Area D, your Natural and Computational Sciences. Usually this is a lab sequence, so it looks like you've got biology credits so far. It looks like biology 2 credits. So we're going to look through your degree works and see where that biology 1 credit is and see if we can move that up for you. And it looks like you've satisfied your statistics. After that, we have your Area E Social Sciences, and it looks like you've got some history covered here and some geosciences and 2 more courses left there. Now, an important thing to remember is you do not have to have your entire core completed before going into your degree. But there are certain areas where you can knock out some prereqs, and we'll go over that more in detail over our future advising sessions. Area F here, well, before we get to that, let's look at this checklist real quick. So it looks like you've been initialing next to each thing we've covered. So we've covered the catalog, we've covered the core requirements, and we've covered the graduation requirements. One thing we're just briefly look at is your course substitution request form. And one of the links that's available on our site here, you'll see under, let's see, I'm going to pull that idea plan back up here, the actual checklist. We've got a hyperlink here, so you can actually go in and click on the course substitution form. So anytime you have a class that you would like to see if it can work in the program of global studies, because you know it's pretty flexible with a couple of different disciplines involved, you're going to want to actually petition for that course. And as your advisor, I can actually complete this for you, or I can send you the link to complete it on your own. And you're going to put in the course that you'd like to use, where you'd like to use it, and you have to go in and actually justify how substituting that course is going to help your degree program. Once it gets to us, we'll actually forward it to that department contact that you have. And I know for you, with Global Studies, we've got that person listed right here and their contact information. And once, you know, if that is approved, we'll let you know and we'll go ahead and move that course in for you. So really with Global Studies, you're going to you're not going to just heavily rely on communicating with your advisor, you'll really be communicating with that department contact. That's going to be the main person you'll be talking to. That's going to help guide you through this program, which is, you know, pretty unique with our programs with interdisciplinary studies. Do you have any questions so far?
Yes. If I reach out to the department, am I just speaking with them only for the concentration area, or am I talking to them about the core as well? You'll
be talking to them about your concentration area. It's a good question. Because as your advisor, you know, or any of our advisors in advising, we're able to guide you through your core. We can, you know, guide you through selecting your classes, but if you have program-specific questions, that's what you're going to talk to the program about. Okay. And they can give you, you know, they can give you overrides in certain instances. They can tell you what will count and what will not. Okay. But the core, you want to still continue to talk to your advisor. Okay, so we've covered that and you've initialed it. So projected course schedules is something that's going to help you out too. Each discipline has a list of dates when their classes are available, or when they offer their courses every term. They're not always all up to date because each department decides how they want to lay this out. Some will give you dates and some will just show you which semesters. So you want to follow this very closely when you're planning